Okay, in case you need help on any of the questions from the practice quiz, I'm just going to go through pretty fast to show you how I solve each of the questions. You can obviously just fast forward to the ones that you need help on. So here's question number 1. Writing an equation, so you want to be careful to know which figure number and then how many tiles there are. So, and it helps to write it as an XY pair. So this is going to be figure 2, figure 3, figure 4, and then we just need to know the number of tiles. So counting them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we have 2, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And you count this one up and you'll see that there are 19. So looking at the y values, we know that it's increasing by 4 each time. And so that becomes our growth rate for tiles per figure. So we have 4x plus b. Now we just need to figure out b, and we can do that by plugging in any of these points. So I'm just going to put this one in. Our 11 equals 4 times 2 plus b. That's 11 equals 8 plus b, so b equals 3. So putting it all together, y equals 4x plus 3. The next one. In order to write the equation for any line, you just need to know the slope and the y-intercept. And we can actually get that directly from this graph. Our slope is up 2 over 1. So that's just 2. And then our y-intercept is right there. So obviously if you can read it directly from the graph, that makes it easier. Okay, so this is just checking to see, do you know that, that should be a plus sign, that things in this form have the slope and the y-intercept read directly in. So if this becomes the slope, then our slope is negative 1/2. The next one, so this is knowing that, once again, it's going to be y equals mx plus b. We can directly know the slope because we're told the slope, but we aren't told the y-intercept, but we can always find the y-intercept if we know the slope at any point. So we need to put the x value of 3 and the y value of 13 in to find out what the y-intercept is. So I get b equals negative 2, and so the final step is put it all together. You could write 5x minus 2. I'm always in the habit of writing plus, because then you know it's just a little bit more obvious that the y-intercept is in fact negative 2. Okay, so this is just adding one more layer of complication. You're not given the slope, but whenever you have 2 points, you can find the slope. And the way we find the slope is to say y minus y over x minus x. So pick a starting point. So I'm going to call this point 1 and this point 2. So negative 1 minus negative 3 over 2 minus 3. This becomes plus a positive, so negative 1 plus 3 is 2 over negative 1, which is really just negative 2. So what we know is we have negative 2x plus b, and as we've been doing, you can always find b if you know a point. So plug in either point. I'll do this one. Negative 1 equals negative 2, putting in our x value of 2 plus b. Negative 1 equals negative 4 plus b. Add 4 to both sides, and you get b equals 3. So put it all together. Y equals negative 2x plus 3. Okay, this one is just reminding you that the rate of change is the slope, but sometimes there's context to it. So in this case, we have a water storage tank and it's going down. Maybe there's a leak, maybe they're using water and not filling it. But in either case, You just need to be able to read this. So between this point and this point, it goes down. So I'm going to use a negative for that. 9,000 gallons in 10 months. And the rate of change is going to be the unit rate generally. And this is an easy one you can divide. So this is negative 900 gallons per month. Okay, this next one is probably the one that most of you are having trouble on, and that's understandable because it's a new technique. And many of you were able to get the right answer, and I just left you a comment that said, try and show the work the way we learned, and so it would be good for you to practice that. Ultimately, of course, if you get the right answer, you get the right answer. But I think it's more likely you get the right answer on complicated problems if you understand this technique. So our starting information is that we have a car that gets 15 kilometers per liter. And we know we want our end point to be miles per gallon. So we need to, throughout this problem, convert kilometers to miles and liters to gallons. And now each time we multiply a fraction, each of these has an intention. So I'm going to say my first intention is to convert kilometers to something else on the way to gallons. And I actually have a direct conversion. I don't have to have a stopping point. And so if I'm going to convert kilometers to gallons, I need to go kilometers to miles, kilometers and miles. And the number, just go with what's attached. So 1.61 belongs to the kilometers, 1 belongs to the gallons. At this point, I have converted kilometers into miles. And I will circle that because I'm at my final destination for that unit. Now, liters into gallons is my next fraction. So this fraction is a conversion from liters to gallons. Liters need to go on the top so they can cancel. Gallons go on the bottom. I know there's 3.79 liters for 1 gallon. Liters will cancel. I'm left with gallons. And the rest is just to do the math. And so I'm going to take my calculator out. And across the numerator, I'm going to multiply and get 15 times 3.79. And I get 56.85. And the bottom, all I have is 1.61. Divide that. And I get 35.31. 0559. And I rounded to 35.3 miles per gallon. Okay, and then nope, not the last question, 2 more. The equation of this line. This one I included just because the slope is a fraction here, and that's okay. Some of you like to write it as a decimal. In this case, it would be tricky to write as a decimal because it's a repeating decimal. So generally, with slope, let's write them as a fraction ratio. So find 2 points that you know are crossing at whole numbers. So you have a point there and a point there. And so you're going up 1 over 3. So the slope is 1/3. And the y-intercept, one of our points that we use, was the y-intercept. And finally, I threw this in as a challenge. Some of you seem to get it right away. Some of you sort of had no idea, and that's okay. But the idea here is that you can get the slope from an equation that is in y equals mx plus b form. And so the trick here is to get this one in y equals mx plus b form. And we do that by solving for y, or getting rid of all the stuff that isn't y. So we always get rid of the term that's added first. So take away 6x from both sides. And we're left with 3y equals, and now I'm going to write this in mx plus b form, just because I know where I'm wanting to, the way I want it to be arranged eventually. And then the last step is divide by 3, and when you do that, you have to divide each term by 3. The 3 cancels, and you're left with negative 6/3, which is negative 2x, plus our intercept is a fraction or a decimal. I'm just going to leave it like that, because this problem is asking what is the slope, so that is our slope. So m equals negative 2. Hope this helped. Go back, fix any mistakes you have on the practice quiz. You can feel good about yourself, and so can I if everything's green. And of course, ask if you